Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. I was just about to head back to the Wastelands. I've been doing a little bit of inventory cleaning after our last episode, and then I realised I had these banners in my inventory. Now we're going to be doing something really cool this episode. We're going to be doing a project that I think you're going to really like. It's going to involve some redstone, nothing too complicated, and it's going to allow us to do something on the server that we have been meaning to do for a very long time and we haven't been able to because of 1.8, and of course we are now in the snapshots. But before we head over there to do that, I was looking at these banners and I was thinking, do you know what, we could actually use these as advertisement. We could place them down, and now people are going to look at that and maybe they'll see it looks like a guardian, maybe not if you're not thinking about them, but it'll definitely spark people's curiosity. You know, what is this thing right here? And I think if we make it so they link up, like when you're standing at this one you can see the next one, so we could put one down at the front of the mushroom, then maybe people will follow them into the area and that way they will find the shop, which I think will be a little interesting experiment to do. So over here, and we don't have any nice blocks but cobblestone, I think I'm just going to plop one on the edge there. Actually, I'll tell you what we could do. We could place this on the side of the mushroom. I hope TFC doesn't mind, actually. We're putting things on his building now. We could put it up a little higher like that. So maybe from the last one you see this one, you come over here and you see the next one, which I think should be somewhere around where the water is. Now while we're doing this, I want to remind you guys to leave a like on the videos if you do enjoy them. I don't want to talk about it too much. I do like to leave a little reminder in the videos now and then, but I'm sure you've heard it time and time again. You know, it makes a big difference. It's a way of showing support for what we do, which is always appreciated, and I just wanted to remind you. So I think you're going to be able to see that one, and then as you're coming over here, you're probably not going to walk all the way up to it. You're probably going to look in that direction or maybe go through here. So I think if we put one, you know, right here, then it's not going to lead all the way over there with the two that we have left. So the next one I think we're actually just going to put down right here, like that. Is that invisible? Oh, okay, it's appeared. Yep, so you'll be able to see that one. You walk over here, and then where are you going to look? Down there maybe. We'll put one on the hill here, and then from here, you're probably not going to be able to see it. Maybe we'll go a little further back. Okay, well it leads you into this area. I think that's good enough. We've run out of these. I could clone some more, but I got to go and get a whole bunch of materials to do that. So we'll just put the last one there, and then maybe people will walk around and have a look, but probably not. It is actually really well hidden. I didn't think it was so hidden from walking around in these paths. I thought you'd notice something big and like cyan, green or blue, whatever colour you want to call it, just over there in the background. But it's not that apparent, is it? Anyway, right, we're going to head over to the Wastelands and get myself prepared to do this project. I think you guys, as I've already said, are really going to like it. I'm really looking forward to this one. It's going to be a fun challenge. It's one of those ones where I don't know everything that we're going to be doing, and I'm looking forward to figuring everything out and making this thing work. So I've been doing some preparations. Turns out that we were low on redstone supplies, so I've been doing some crafting. We've got a stack of comparators and repeaters, some pistons, and also some slimes to make them sticky pistons. But here we have the slime blocks. We're probably only going to use one or two of those in this project, but now that we're in 1.8 we can use those, and that has given me all sorts of ideas. And by the way, I'm very low on my redstone blocks. We're down to our last stack, which is kind of worrying. Probably going to have to do some caving to get some more redstone, but it's also a good thing as well because I do like doing the redstone projects, and we've done a fair few more of those recently. But let's talk about this project because we're going to head over to the Nether hub now. What we're going to be doing is building the minecart station, which is the first step in us having a proper Nether hub that works and that connects everyone together on the server. So for the longest time we've just had, you know, random pathways like this through the Nether, and no one knows who each other's, you know, pathway is or where to go, and it's been a little bit of a silly thing to, you know, let slide for so long. But the thing is, when we finally got our heads together and said, right, we've got to do something about this Nether hub, what are we going to do? We decided to rely on some 1.8 mechanics, that being the item frames. And if you saw my recent tutorial, then you'll know kind of what it is we're going to be doing this episode. But we decided to, you know, wait for that, and then the snapshots were never really playable or stable, and so the longest time has dragged on. It's been probably like half a year of waiting for this, and it's finally come. We're in the snapshots, so now we can get on and get this Nether hub working. So what I'm going to be doing is building the station system. Now Zombie Cleo has built the first of two hubs. This is the one at the old Hermit Town. The other one is going to be at the new Hermit Town. And this station, we all agreed we'd theme it like this, you know, not a traditional Nether hub, something that resembles something in the overworld, you know, a normal train station, and in that we will actually build our Nether hub. So, how it's going to work is there's going to be somewhere around here a way to get down to a station that's down below. You're going to drop down into the middle of a selector panel. Now if you saw the video that I'd done before, I don't actually have the item frames on me. Let's just plop those down. So we used item frames and the new mechanic where they can point in 8 different directions to select where you want to go to, but we're going to need more than 8 destinations, so we're actually going to build a system that has 2 of these, so you can pick a destination on one side or on the other side and then press a button to go to it. So somewhere here you're going to walk in and there's going to be a button or something that you'll press and it will remove a block below you and you'll fall down into the middle of that. So you'll look up, you'll see your selection options, you'll choose where you want to go, press a button, and then a minecart will come out and you'll be on your way. Now this station is only for leaving, because when you come back in we're going to make it so that you'll be sent onto a different track when heading towards the station, and that will actually take you up here to somewhere in the ceiling where it's going to drop you down below once you exit the minecart, and that's probably where we're going to use the slime block. So somewhere around here there'll just be a slime block and you'll fall down, land on it, and you'll be able to go, which would be a pretty unique and interesting way for this station to work. So I've now really just got to get started on it. I think where we're going to put the entrance is just over here. I might remove this door so that we can have like a sticky piston and some redstone back here, and then you walk in, there'll be a button, you press it and it will remove the block and send you down below. But before we do that, there are just 2 more little things I want to talk about quickly. First of all, I have started playing modded Minecraft. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to slow down on vanilla. This time when I'm playing it, I'm still loving my vanilla, and I really think I'm going to enjoy playing both of them. So if you want to check that out, there'll be a link down there in the description box. And also for all of you football fans, and I'm talking about soccer or English football, I've started a fantasy football league. And I thought it would be a really cool thing to do, because I've done it in the past and I thought, you know what, this time when I want to play that with other people, so you guys are welcome to join. Just go down there to the description box, there'll be a link and some codes to join the leagues that I have set up, so if you're interested in that, then you can join in and hopefully it'll be fun. Of course it'll be fun. Anyway, right, let's get to work. So this first part that I've built was very painless. It was exactly how I imagined it would be. We have a button on that block and on the other side we have a redstone torch powering a piston which is now extended, so when we press the button the block retracts, which is exactly what we need. So you can stand on here, press the button and go down below. Now this isn't the most intuitive of things really. You're not going to think to come in here and just stand on the block and press the button. It's going to be the kind of thing, if you're on the server you have to know what to do. So you walk over here, stand on the block, press the button and go down below. Now what I'm worried about at the moment is that there's going to be a big open area of the Nether down below us, which is why I've brought a whole bunch of cobblestone. So let's have a little bit of a dig and see what's actually down there. It'd be pretty typical if that was the case, but it doesn't seem to be so as of yet. I'm not sure how much space I actually need for this thing, and obviously this is going to be the roof of it, so I need to kind of estimate that and dig out the area down below. But I don't want it to be like when we built the Enderpearl station on the other side, because that thing I had to build a massive box and it was a little bit of a pain to do. The ghasts are flying around down there in the open area of the Nether and shooting at you, which is not what you want when you're doing some redstone. So we'll dig that out and we'll find out what it's like down there. So what would you know, there was a big open space down here. You can see there it is out the sides, and I had some ghasts coming along and being annoying, which was expected. But I wasn't sure what size to build this box, so I just made it a little bit bigger than it needed to be in this back area, and I think I've kind of overdone it. But this bit right here is where you're going to fall down. You're going to land here, and then the track is going to go off either side of you. So it's actually over there where the box will be the biggest, because that's where the track will go off into 8 different directions, and they're all going to be right next to each other as well. So separating all of those might be a little bit tricky, but on one side I think we'll have them go in one direction, and on the other they'll all face in the opposite direction. So this right here is where our panels are going to go, and if you're going to fall down right here, well, I think they are a little bit close. If we take them back by 1 block, which will be the equivalent of standing there, then you can see both of the item frames will be in the middle, and you can see all of the destinations just by standing here in the middle. And then at the bottom we're going to have a button which you can reach, so you press that and you go that direction, press that and you will go in that direction. So we're going to raise all of this up by 1 block as well, because this thing we can have a material for our ceiling there, we can have the top of the sign there, and then the bottom will be at this level, which gives us a little space down here, because I was thinking, this redstone is going to go under a little bit as well, but I think we've done it just about right, so I'm actually going to start building this. So pigmen are behaving a little bit strange in this snapshot. They seem to move very slowly, and also I got a feeling that they're spawning aggressive as well. Now I accidentally hit one a moment ago, and of course they're now finding ways into here. But anyway, let me show you what I've done. I focused on the aesthetics first of all, and this looks a little bit gloomy in here, and that's because we don't have any lighting, which I've got some levers and some lamps. But let's talk about the materials. I literally just picked something that I had available, and I looked in the resources that I've got loads of hardened clay and some brown hardened clay and also sandstone, and I felt like the three of those are nice kind of earthy natural colours. These two are very similar, and then this one contrasts it a little bit, which is good. And then we needed to use something that we had in bulk, and obviously stone bricks and slabs and things like that are easily available, so we put those around the outside. Now the places I think I'm going to put the lamps are here, which is actually going to look a little bit odd maybe because of the the way those line up. We can't put them in the ceiling, by the way. We can put them in the ground, which is an option. But over here on this side, I felt like that would be a perfect place to put a lamp. So let's go around the back and power that. I think if we just remove the block, and here's another pigman. Take that. I think he's walked in from somewhere over here. Let's have a look. No, I've actually closed all of that off, so I have no idea where that guy came from. That's what's been a little bit strange. It doesn't make sense how they're getting in here. So it's up there that we put the lever, and then we power it. And then when we go back in here, that kind of brightens up the whole room, I feel like maybe that will actually do the job. There's now some dark patches in the corners. That's a little unfortunate, but that's going to happen because, those bugs have been around for a long time. So I'm not going to put one here for now. I might play around with that a little bit more. But let's just talk about how this is going to work. You're going to fall down on this slime block. In fact, we should go up top and demonstrate that quickly. And there's going to be pigmen up here. I know it. Whereabouts are they going to be? There's some down the end there who've been stuck by that dirt block, and that guy is wearing iron armor and it looks enchanted. That might be someone's items, or he's probably just spawned with it actually. Anyway, let's go and press this button right here. So we drop down and then you jump up, and you don't hit your head on that, which is interesting, but if you hold down shift, then you're just going to be able to center yourself down here on the block. So in front of it is a dispenser that will get powered, which will put the minecart in there. We also need to feed some minecarts into it from a hopper, or possibly another dispenser below it. So that's something else to consider, because that thing will need to be refilled. And yeah, when that gets powered, it puts a dispenser there, and then it's going to shoot it off in either direction. So you can have a button to the left and the right, and there'll be a little bit of a delay before it swaps around the blocks, because we are going to be using the system that I used before. And I realised just now, as I say it, that might not work, because there's no piston or wall here to retract the track, so I'm going to have to think about that one. So I'm running into a few problems here, mainly that I've tried to do everything in a small space, but I'm adding more features to that as well. For example, we've got the dispenser for the minecarts, we've got this slime block here as well, and so the problem I'm facing at the moment is that I can't power this powered rail right here because there's no block around it unless I power the dispenser directly, which will end up powering the pistons. But I have put in the other bits of redstone here. You can see we can swap the blocks like that, which is going to send the player off in a direction, provided that this power rail actually gets powered. And for a moment I thought that the slime block could no longer be powered, but of course this is only powering the dispenser and not the rail on top. So I've kind of crammed too much into a small space, and at the moment I am really worried about having to redesign the entire room, because I've already moved it back and forth once when I was building it, and what I might do at this point is actually move it all back by one block so that the slime block will be here, so you'll fall down, there'll be a bit more of a gap. But I'm thinking the smarter thing to do is just to get this thing going, because it is taking a long time to do the building, so I might sacrifice a feature like the whole automated minecart dispensary. And another thing I thought is that if we're going to get the hoppers to bring items to this, they're just going to have to point into the front here, which means you'd either see the hoppers in front of you or put carpets down, and that probably wouldn't look too nice either. So at the moment it looks like that feature is probably going to go. Okay, let's do a little test. Drop down, hold down shift, pick your destination. This is going to take us in the wrong direction, just because I'm still wiring up. And you saw there that the minecart popped out really quickly, but that does seem to be going in the right direction at the moment. I've decided to put the dispenser there and keep this feature. You know, a lot of the time I get really focused on just making everything look really smooth and nice, and you know, having the dispenser out here on display and the pistons on either side, it's really not the end of the world, and I think we should just kind of go with it because it works. So one thing that I think we should do is actually power this dispenser, which is currently powering the rails, so there's a little bit of a challenge there. But we're going to try and power that separately from this, so it means this one will get powered first and then that one a moment after. We're also going to have a little bit of a challenge just getting the redstone wired up correctly, but we're going to move these blocks around anyway. And what I'm thinking of doing at the moment is putting some slabs on top of this, because if we follow the pattern that's going around in the room at the moment, then it would be up here, which would look really odd. And if we were to put it directly on top of it, it might not look so bad. It kind of covers it up a little bit. You can't see the hoppers. And I was thinking maybe what we could do is just lower the slabs around this entire room. Just drop everything by one. I think it might look a little better on the ceiling. Maybe not so much on the floor because the slabs will come off the ground. And I kind of like that, adds a little bit of depth. But we'll give that a try as well. And I think we're going to be getting there. Although it's a little bit of a challenge with the redstone down the bottom here. If you want to see what I did, when this block here gets powered, because the input comes around this side, it just sends the signal into this block, which has a torch underneath it. And then that's inverting the torch that powers the dispenser and the powered rail. So the challenge is to separate those, and I do think it's going to be a little bit tricky. Okay, I just had a redstone moment, and I love it when you have these moments where you figure out the puzzle that you've been trying to solve. So, what is that puzzle? It's powering the powered rail and dispenser like I just described. I found a way to do the powered rail down here. What we do is transfer the signal from back here, and we move it underneath, we invert it, and we send it upwards. And then it will go directly into that block, not powering the dispenser. So then the challenge was to power this block on the side of it, and I was thinking, do you know what, I don't mind these blocks coming out to the side of that, and I started to think, do you know what, I don't mind having a little bit of redstone on display, so we've got something, you know, pointing in that block to power the dispenser, because we couldn't really do it any other way. I tried doing it with torches, and the main problem is, and my hotbar is just a mess at the moment, when we put a torch here, it's going to extend that. And that's just the way it is, so we can't power it directly like that. And I tried doing it from the side or from different angles, and it really didn't work. But then I was looking at the button here, and I was thinking, do we want to keep it there? And then I saw it. If we put this thing right here, we are going to power the dispenser first of all. So the second we press that, we are going to get our dispenser on the track. Our minecart on the track, and then the signal can be transferred underneath to do the rest of the job. And now when you're standing here, it is ever so clear. You're going to have, you know, your choices on either side. You can right click the item frame from standing over here, and if you look at that, you can pretty much go all the way to the edge as well, so it's not going to be difficult. It might be a little tricky to read the text over there, but then the button on either side is just going to make it ever so simple, and that I am very happy with. So I'm going to wire this thing up, redecorate the room like I described, and I'll be back with you in a bit. So we've done it. This first part now works. Let's drop down below, hold down shift. That is quite the sight to see. I do like this. Let's put a minecart into the dispenser, press a button, and we'll hop in that thing. And it moved a little bit, which it wasn't supposed to do. And it's probably because that guy was interfering. Mobs get so annoying, you know, further into the game where you just want to build stuff and they're always in the way. But anyway, I did actually run into a whole bunch more problems when doing this. It turns out that I made two really silly mistakes. One of them was a little tricky to identify, but basically I was bud powering these pistons, so whenever I powered the initial piston, and by the way, this has all changed, hasn't it? Because we had some slabs here with redstone on top of them, and I thought that they were bud powering this, and it turns out they wasn't, so I swapped to using the pistons with the cauldrons to send the signals off to either side. Oh, I really don't want to get into it too much, but yeah, there were problems, and I found solutions. And the biggest one of all was that I didn't have a piece of redstone at the back here. Now what this meant was that when one side powered, it powered the other side as well, so it turned off both torches. So that's why we have it pointing like that now, and so that gave me some really confusing problems to figure out, which I eventually did, and now we are there. This thing is ready to go. Let's just check it again without that magma cube in our way. Did that go in? Yeah, it did. Oh look, there's another one. They're coming, okay, they're coming from up there. All makes sense now. Let's try this quickly. So we pick a direction, we get in, and off we go. There is a little bit of a delay, but that delay is important to stop the bud switches happening. Bud switch? You know what I'm on about, pistons being bud powered. Anyway, what we want to do now is put some banners into these, like so, because they're going to make excellent, like, you know, what do you call that? Pointers. Yeah, they make pointers for choosing where you want to go. So you can choose like that. So what we'll probably do, we won't put any names on these just yet, but each of these are going to have, you know, a different name on it. And I'm just going to place them quickly so we can step back and see what this room looks like. Because after this, it should be smooth sailing. We have done all of the hard redstone, and the rest of it is just building a box for the, you know, the different destination selectors on either side. So, looking at that, you fall down. There's going to be a whole bunch of things for you to read. And I can't right click on it. What's going on? Oh no. You got to be kidding me. So, I can look at a block from back here, but an item frame has different rules. Look, you can see the hitbox of the box changing. Well, that is a really frustrating thing to find out at this time, because I've just finished building this thing. I guess what we might do is bring it forward by one block. Let's have a look. So if I'm standing here and it's in the same sort of distance, we can just about click in that corner. Ah, that's really disappointing. So this is a very time-consuming task. I did really think this wouldn't take this much time, but it has been quite a few hours now into this episode, and we've got one half of this done. You know, I've just been testing it, making sure it's all good and it works just like a charm. So all of this over here is going to work. Each of these will go off to a different tunnel, and the thing I've been thinking about is how close together these are at the moment. You know, Nether tunnels, we like to make them look pretty and do something cool with them, and what I'm going to do is be a little bit cheeky and claim the one down the end here so I can turn it off, or even just have it, and that is me ghost keying. At the moment I am not pressing any key on my keyboard and I am moving to the left, which is really strange. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to go in a straight line off the end here and have my tunnel start here, which will also mean it won't interfere with the next one. So this one could come out and go off to the left a bit and then go off in that direction. But we're going to have to organise it amongst ourselves, and I'm only going to build this half for now. We'll build the other half in another episode because it's quite time consuming to build, and I've got to meet with everyone to figure out how to put these tunnels together and where they're going, etc. So we're going to do one more thing, or at least we're going to investigate it a little bit before this episode is out. If we just go back up here, and if you're wondering what this is the comparator signal coming back from the item frames and going around to the side. And by the way, we did fix this. We pulled it all forward by one block and then we moved it in together. So these signs in the middle, they're going to have an arrow pointing to either side telling you which one it's for, and that actually works quite well because when you stand here you can not only click on this thing, but you can click on it on the very, well, I thought you could click on it on the very far side. Let's move forward a bit. That's where you'd probably fall down. You can see you can get all the way over to the edge there, so that's about as good as it's going to get from that thing. So let's go up the top. The last thing that we need to do is to create the way back, because that station down there is an exit only. So when you're coming back to the station, what I'm hoping we can do is have a rail line that's up above. So any other rail will go onto that. Actually, I'm realizing now that this is, yeah, it's a little confusing. I'm going to have to think about it for a moment. Okay, this probably is going to be quite a difficult thing to do. So let's just talk about how this is going to work. These two tracks are going to be the tracks that come out of the station that we've just built. So when you're choosing a destination to go to, you're going to go out of one of these, and what they're going to do is drop onto the track that takes you somewhere. So if it's going to the wastelands, you're going to drop onto this track and head off to the wastelands. Now when you're coming back, you're going to go straight past this thing because it's going to be, you know, unconnected. You're going to drop off of this track onto that one, and you're going to come back along this way, and this is just going to meet up with a whole bunch of other tracks that will all, you know, kind of link together and become one universal track that will go above the station and then eject the player, and they will fall down into the middle of here. And the logistics for that are going to be quite difficult because we've got our tracks starting all the way down the bottom there, and then for the, you know, every single track is going to have one that comes and meets up with this one. And already, as I'm trying to explain it, is just sounding like, picturing it in my mind, what's going to have to be built is a lot of tracks going all over the place. It could actually get quite messy, and now we have a floating rail. But I think we should investigate it anyway. What I'm going to do is see if there's enough space in the ceiling first of all. So unfortunately there is no space in the ceiling. I had a feeling there was a little bit of space, but if we just go up the top here, it basically lines up with the bedrock, so the chances of there being a path going through there are pretty much slim and none. So we can't put it up there, and I've been looking around and been thinking about the slime blocks. You know, we could have it underground, blocks could retract, the slime blocks could push you up into the air, and that would be an awesome way to enter. But the idea that I had for up above was that we forced the player to exit the minecart automatically. So we're going to do a little bit of a test here. I'm going to, well, I'm not going to get that because it's going to go into the cactus. Let's actually just leave that on the side. We're probably not going to be able to activate it from down here, are we? And holding down shift will take you out. Oh, we can. Okay, and it plopped me down over here. Now I was expecting it to actually plop me down on this side, but the important thing is that we can make it put us somewhere where we can control. So we can't really block this space. If we do that, that should block it. The cactus, obviously, we can't put it directly alongside. So let's try it again and block all of these other spaces and see where it's going to put us now. Let's also put it there. We should end up right here. Do I have another powered rail? I do. Just want to make the journey a little bit faster, even though it's slow already. Right, let's plop that down on top of there. Hit that lever. There we go. And I'm inside blocks. Which blocks am I inside of? Oh, I'm actually just standing here, so it didn't put me down on the outside. Let's try it again, except we have a spot here that's level with the ground. Hopefully then the game might pick that being the place. Oh, what did I just do? What did I just say? Been messing up my words a lot lately. Right, let's just go back a little bit. Around like that. Where are we? We're just there in the middle. Okay, so we were able to be pushed over to that side. Let's see if we can get that to happen again. Got a feeling this isn't going to work. I think this is something I'll have to do in a creative world, you know, just play around with it for a while and figure it out. So we can put ourselves in a forced position. What happens when we remove this block? Because we probably want us to jump down somewhere. See, the thing is, I want us to land on the slime blocks and then that activate. So the sand is going to attach to the slime block. That's going to be a problem. There's a lot of work to be done. You can see what I'm thinking about here. And if you've got any ideas or thoughts for me, then leave one down in the description box, because I'm going to be working on this in between episodes. I've decided to wrap things up. It's getting late. I could, keep going, but there's some other things that I've got to do as well. So in between episodes, I'll be working on that. And we'll try and figure something out, and if we do it, it's going to be absolutely awesome. In fact, this whole Nether Hub project is going to be really big because of just the sheer nature of it, and it's going to be a lot of fun finally doing our Nether tunnels and getting this place, really feeling like it's complete, I guess you could say. For the longest time, we've been walking through the Nether, and it's just been feeling like a bit of a wasteland. But that is going to be it for this episode. As always, if you have enjoyed it, please do leave a like. It will always be appreciated. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.